Hey folks, hello and welcome to the podcast. Today, this episode, there's three things I want to cover with you, and it's about starting an Amazon business and really why I feel, and I'm sure Alex will agree, why people just sometimes stop themselves. These are the stories they tell themselves of why they can't be successful or why it won't work for them. And if you're in that position, I just want to help you overcome that. All right. So myself and Alex, we've been coaching a lot of people on Amazon over the past year, from big businesses to individuals just starting out. And, we're really getting into it. We're really starting to enjoy it. And we're really starting to find our way of actually helping people. And just like we talked about this on a previous episode, like creating like lots of SOPs, which are like very boring, but basically what they are is just a list of things to do. I'm just trying to make this really simple for people. But saying that, there's still a lot of questions that come up, the same questions that come up every time that, mainly Alex deals with actually on his TikTok. So I want to just dive into them and actually just give you our 2 cents, our 2 pennies of why that is. Okay. And how you should actually think about these things. Right. So before I do, I want to say hello to Alex. Alex, how are you doing? How is life? Are you happy?
Yeah, good mate. Hell of an introduction.
Thank you.
Yep, doing pretty good. Don't think there's much more to say other than what Peter's introduced the show about. I share a lot of stuff on my TikTok. It's probably where a lot of the people, the members of the community, have actually, it's like their first point of contact where they come across me and Peter. And a lot of the people actually say, and this is just like something I've noticed as well, how transparent they feel that we are. Because on TikTok and stuff, you can get into that doom scrolling, and you come across a lot of things that almost feel like hot air, like you don't know whether to believe it or not. And some of the comments we've had recently have been really nice. So people are saying we like your transparency, and that's all we're trying to do. We're just basically trying to share what's worked for me and Peter, what hasn't, to give people the confidence to get started and to move their Amazon journey forwards. Because there's a lot of people who are at different stages of this journey, and they either want to get started or they've got capital to invest into products. Everyone's at different stages, and we just want to basically give people the roadmap to getting started and getting to their goal. And I guess one of the first things to get over is like actually making a conscious decision to start. And that's what my TikTok is designed to do, to help people show these different sides to what it's like starting an Amazon business, how much capital you need up front to invest, which I think is what one thing you want to cover on this podcast, right?
Yeah, 100%, Alex.
And everything to do with that. So, I mean, where do you want to take this podcast, Peter? I know you had some notes.
Yeah, I do have some notes, so I'm very organized today. But yeah, look, I suppose one of the first things when you're starting anything new, right, you're going to ask yourself, like, okay, especially in a business, like, how much money do I need to invest in this, right? Like, what does my initial investment need to be on Amazon? And, what is the risk in doing that, right? So before we get into that, like, I want to say, when you start any business, there is always generally, not always, but generally anything like involves products or involves, a brick and mortar place, there's going to be an investment, right? Now, people might think, oh, spending 2, 3, 5K on products, that's a huge investment. And, it is for some people, right? And absolutely, I respect that. I remember my first order, like I sent the money away and I was terrified. I was like, oh, never seen that again, but I did. But if you were to, for example, open a restaurant, I've heard of people spending, 100, 150, 200K on just getting a restaurant ready for open, right? And people don't even bat an eyelid at that. But then sometimes when you say to someone, do you know what, you're going to spend 5K on a product, they're like, what? This is crazy, right? Now, not everyone, by any stretch of imagination. But I think you need to prepare yourself that you're going to need to make a investment, right? Now, we've done a YouTube video on this previously, and we just kind of try to give you the broadest possible sense of like, this is nearly the maximum you could spend. But you don't have to spend this, but this is what you could budget for it, right? So realistically, I'm not going to go into figures here, like how much you need and all that, right? But you're going to have to prepare yourself for an initial investment in a product, right? Now, every product, as those of us inside, well, those of you inside the community, but also those of you just researching online, like every product's different. Like some products you could spend £12,000 between everything, right? Getting them, made in China, getting them shipped over to the UK or to the US, paying import duties and all that, right? Other products could be 1,000, 1,500. It really depends. But I think you need to prepare yourself for that. You're not going to get started for nothing. And I'm sure you'll agree, Alex, like a lot of people look at like wholesale and like, oh, I got started only with, 50 quid and all this crack. And great, fair play to you if you did, right? But, there's a book on my shelf about compounding, and it's going to take a lot longer to compound that 50 than if you make a little bit of a bigger investment in what we share and what we teach and what we really believe in, which is private label, because you're actually building something that's yours, right? Whereas wholesale, you're not. You're just basically buying someone else's product and selling it, right? And that's why I think on TikTok and all these places, people really promote wholesale, because it looks like as an easy get rich quick scheme, and it's not easy. And to be honest, the margins are very tight because you're competing with like so many other people on those listings alone, right? So Alex, do you have anything to add on that before I move in? Because it actually leads nicely into my second point. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength as you. Like a lot of people who come across TikTok on content on platforms like TikTok, it's all short form stuff. You have to grab someone's attention super fast, and generally, private label is almost boring compared to, in some senses, in terms if you compare it to wholesale. Because yes, in wholesale, you could argue you could get started for a lower sum of money. Same with doing like retail arbitrage, which we've covered on the podcast before, we've experimented with, and you can make a quick bit of money for sure. But if you want a long-term play and you want to actually build a brand and a proper online business, for us, private label is something where we've staked the sword in the floor, and we'll like keep beating the drum about that, and we'll tell people exactly the same thing. We're not saying you can't do any of the other things. We're just saying if you want a long-term play and you want to build a long-term business and you are serious about this, then private label is something definitely to consider. So you have to understand that when you're on these platforms like TikTok, maybe coming across my content and Peter's content about private label, it may not be like the most shocking results or anything to start with, because we're building a long-term business here. And for sure, Peter's shared his results recently of the Pico store, which is doing, I don't know what it's up to now, but
it sold. I'll let you know. Like I just checked this out the other day, right? Because I haven't been logging in too much because a lot of the products are actually out of stock, but I'm getting them reordered. But it sold from the beginning of July till basically, so in 3 months, right? But the majority of this was weighted over 2 months. It sold about £52,000 from scratch. That store.
Yeah. And that was started, guys, on July the 4th. So that's July.
American Independence Day.
Like 3 months ago, give or take, just over 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're not saying this is going to take years or anything, starting private label, but that's also something it may be worth discussing or touching upon, is the time scale of things, because people want results like yesterday. They want to make money like right this instant. They want to know, right, if I decide to start an Amazon business, I want to see money in my bank account by the end of the day. And like, it doesn't work like that. And nor does it work like that in any business. And like Peter said before, if you wanted to open a brick and mortar store, you would be spending tens of thousands of pounds just to get doors open. And that's before you've made any money whatsoever. And people don't even bat an eyelid at that, because that's seen as what is, quote, normal. So that's like, a normal business is a brick and mortar store. Whereas I still feel some people are very skeptical about this whole online business thing. They think it's literally a scam, that people are literally going to take all our money. It's just a hobby. I've heard that a lot. Whereas the real business is online now. Like Amazon is the biggest online retail marketplace, and it's only going to continue to grow, along with everyone else who's shopping online. So, Amazon is there for anyone to use, third-party sellers like you and me. I think it's fantastic. So it is going to take a little bit of time for sure, but I think the rewards will pay off dividends.
I think I want to add as well, like, so when anyone ever asks me, like, is my money safe, right? I'll always say, right, obviously I can't guarantee your money, but you need to think about it like this. And this is how I think about it every time I invest in an Amazon product, right? We've identified what looks like a good product. We've went and, got a price on manufacture. We've then calculated what our profit should be, right? Now, based on all that, we know what our margin is. Now, ideally we should be competitive in the marketplace for what is already selling, right? We're not going to start selling something that there's absolutely no data whatsoever, or no even assumed data, like nearby products, right? We want to sell something that we know there's actually a proven demand, or a consistent, traffic source, right? Which is search volume on Amazon. If that product um, goes live and for some reason it's just, not selling, worst case scenario, right? What can you do? You can lower your price that, you are the most competitive offer in the marketplace. And if it still doesn't sell, you can keep lowering it. And you can lower that product right down to break even, right? If you can't sell it at break even, you have bought a product that obviously you haven't researched the market well enough. You haven't looked at the market and looked at demand, right? But if you've looked at demand and there is sufficient demand, of course you're going to be able to sell at break even. But can imagine the worst case scenario, you have to sell it at a little bit of a loss. What could you lose? Maybe 10, maybe 15% of your overall investment. Whereas if you opened a coffee shop, for example, and it didn't work, you lose everything, basically. You could lose 100% because you've got really high costs. With us, we don't really have high costs. Once to go in, we just have to sell it. So, yeah, I feel that Amazon is one of the safest investments in my mind that you can make. That's my opinion. That's why I always invest in Amazon products, right? I'm not afraid to test. Now, another thing, Alex, and I want to just touch on as well, is a lot of people say, is it still good to start an Amazon business in, say, 2023? You see a lot of these videos on YouTube. Is Amazon still good in 2023? Or 2022 or 2021? It's the same question every time, right? And the answer is yes. There's more people joining Amazon and starting to use it consistently than ever before, right? Like COVID was a bit of a blip and a lot of people went on to it, but that just jumped us forward a bit in terms of what was already happening anyway. And the reality is that we're coming in, we're identifying products, and we are standing out from what's already there and what's already selling. We say this internally, and Alex will completely back me up on this. Like the competition on Amazon, it can be very weak. Yes, there's good competition, but for the most part, in most products, in most niches, the competition is not strong. So I don't buy this that, it's too late. You've missed the boat. You haven't missed the boat. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Competition is weak. That's something our old mentors used to say. And until I started selling my own products properly, now like fully have taken that on board and understand it, because we literally come across product opportunities. Like we're coming across more product opportunities than we have money to afford to invest in right now.
And that we've ever come across, Alex, in our lives. Like
Yeah,
we've really started just, we can see the wood from the trees, if you get me.
yeah. So I feel we're a lot better now at product research, but at the same time, that's why we created Product Launchpad as well, where we partner with people on products, so we can help people who are new to the game or want to invest into products and get a leg up in Amazon and learn how to do it as well. So we created that as almost like I wouldn't like to say a sneaky, selfish way of getting and building our brands or anything, but it's kind of like a win-win for everybody, because we get to build the brands that we want to build, and the students also get to have a share of the profit and see how to sell on Amazon and get their own products as well. So it's a win-win in that respect. But yeah, I mean, we're literally coming across products every single day. I'm confident now I could hop onto Amazon and within half an hour I could find more than one potential product to invest money into, just by
Absolutely.
how we analyze the market now. And
And not small businesses, Alex. Like these are
no,
products that could do well over six figures a year, if not more.
I mean, we just to take an example, the product we've just been looking at before this call, we found a product in the pest control niche, right? And people nowadays, the majority of people are super scared of pests, right? Rats, mice, spiders, bugs, anything. Nobody likes creepy crawlies. And a lot of people will pay a lot more money to get out of pain, right? And I'm not saying that we're going to be overcharging for these products or anything, but there is super high demand in this niche because people are willing to pay for these products, right? And we found opportunities in the pest control niche which are absolute gold mines because nobody's focused on branding. Everyone's just selling generic products with supplier supplied listing images. So they're all really poor quality. No effort has been put into the listing at all. So we're literally like, well, I can almost guarantee if I invest into this product, I go all in on the images, I market the product properly, I have A plus content, I have all this stuff in my corner to show that this is the
Yep.
product in this niche to have. you'll stand up above everybody else. And these products are already doing thousands of sales a month on Amazon. And this is with crappy listings. So can you imagine what a product would do if it had everything optimized? You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, this is how excited me and Peter are, because we can see these opportunities literally flooding everywhere.
Alex, it's maths, because if you think about it, right, you just said yourself, these products are doing thousands of sales a month, right? Like, what is the chances that our small initial trial order of maybe 300 to 500 units will not sell out within a month, 2 months, 3 months? Like, we're not looking for the entire market. We're just looking at a bit of it. So,
Yeah.
like, again, like, it's a very safe bet in our view, and that's why we invest in it. But it's just, I completely agree with you, man. I could go on Amazon now and I will find a product opportunity. I
Yeah.
can guarantee, like, it's just, it's like it's just become so easy. It's so exciting. Like that, I can't wait to see what brands we build out, right? And we'll be sharing them all on this podcast, right? But I want to just touch on now as well the last thing that, and this is like, people talk about other things, but these are like the three top things, right? A lot of people, are afraid of the complexity and learning curve on Amazon, right? And I'll be honest with you, like, it's to learn this stuff, it's nearly like a sixth sense. It's not easy. It takes time to figure it all out, right? And to help all our students along and like everyone in our community, I literally, like, Alex is laughing at me. Like, I do be building out like SOPs. I've talked about it twice in this thing, right? But I'm literally SOPing everything to do with growing an Amazon business, because I get asked the same questions over and over again. And I want to have this, that the whole thing nearly runs on autopilot from the very, very beginning when someone comes into our community to, sending a carton label to their supplier. Like, everything's just broken down for them, right? And to be honest with you, Amazon doesn't really do that for people. They kind of expect you to figure it out on your own. They give you customer support, which, to be honest with you, isn't great. And they give you like help pages and stuff. But again, they're generally not great. So I've been trying to help in that regard with our students and just making this simple. But what I've been doing, and what myself and Alex have been doing by recording all our coaching calls, recording everything, is trying to make this business as simple as possible for people. And that is actually what we're doing as well. Just, you mentioned it, Alex, and I actually wasn't going to mention it, but Product Launchpad, inside there, we're trying to take away that initial fear for that first product. Because some people get to the stage where they have a product, but then they're like, I just don't want to invest. I'm just a bit scared. We're trying to say, look, here, we've checked this product out. We're investing in this product as well. Let's do it together.
Yeah,
And that,
Product Launch Ninja was designed for that exactly, just like as a way to remove the barriers, to say that, look, like, it may be risky for you, but also we're putting our money where our mouth is too. So if you know if you believe in what we're showing you in content and videos and whatever you're watching, this should be a way for you to piggyback on our knowledge and expertise and learn from us on the way and profit from it at the same time.
absolutely. And like, yeah. Oh, it is, look, it's just crazy. I have so much more I could add, but you know what? This is probably our longest ever episode, Alex. We're nearly 18 minutes, or we're just over 18 minutes. So we'll probably leave it there. And I think it's worth adding as well, folks. So Alex has got new internet again, right? And Alex, this time you were on 99% upload. That has never happened.
Yeah, usually when we're at this stage, I have to wait around for like an hour for the thing to
Yeah.
upload. But yeah, we're pretty much level pegging now, which is good.
So I think we're safe to say you'll be keeping the new internet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's definitely better. I'm not going to listen to you and say it's not good. It's 100% better. I can see it. But folks, we'll leave you there. If you have any questions about this, what we're doing, and kind of like, we'll be sharing a lot more. Like, we have big plans. Like, I joked with Alex, like, originally he was like, I don't want to build a big business, and now, like, that was about a year ago, and now I'm like, Alex, we might just be building a big business here. It was a good laugh, but I think it's true. Like, this thing has the potential, and it's on the path to being enormous, but
Yeah,
really, really good. It's
yeah,
really different. And I kind of a motto I've been kind of toying around with, and I mentioned it to you, Alex, and it's not confirmed yet, so we'll work on it. But it is educate and scale. So basically, we educate people on Amazon, but we also scale brands.
yeah,
I think that's pretty
yeah.
fair. That summarizes it, basically everything we do.
Yep, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
or educate and launch, maybe, like, but scale. I prefer launch is okay, but we want to scale them.
Yeah.
Anyone can launch. Let's scale. Right, folks. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.